So our card for Clash in Italy is Roman versus Solo in Tribal Combat, Becky versus Sol Ruka for the IC Championship. And again, I think rather unfortunate that we have not heard anything, nor even a video package promoting Sol Ruka since that very unfortunate botch on Saturday night's main event. So that's the match that's taking place. Brock versus Oba 2. First hour on ESPN has Cody versus Gunther for the WWE Championship and also Rhea versus Jade for the WWE Women's Championship. Because there are only 5 matches, do you want to give me your quick predictions for each of the matches, Neil?
Yeah, let's do it right now. Okay. So I think that Cody loses to Gunther. And that would be and it's the first match. It's not only on the first hour that it was announced as being the first match. So that would be a pretty shocking way to start it, I guess, for the crowd. It's just the track record Gunther has that he gets into in the finishing promo. I think it would be a mistake to end that momentum at this point, even though Cody is sort of top of the mountain.
Agreed.
Rhea Jade, I think Rhea retains against Jade Cargill. I'm intrigued to see how good that match will be. Because as I mentioned earlier, I think Jade has a way to go in the ring. What do you think about that one?
Rhea Jade, I think Rhea retains. Yeah. That's kind of it. You know, I don't foresee anything all that shocking. I mean, I hope the match is good, but I also don't see much. I mean, she's just kind of establishing her run, and I don't think putting the title back on Jade would. You haven't done enough with Rhea yet. So
yeah. Oba and Brock, I think that's a Brock win because I agree with, I think both of you and John had said we're probably headed to a rubber match between those two, which I do think Oba will be victorious in the end, but I think this will be probably a 3-match program and Brock will get the win on Sunday.
Agreed. Now, handing Oba his first main roster loss, I mean, I think they're going to have to be creative and, protecting him in some way. And I'm kind of curious to see what they do with that. So that to me is the point of intrigue, not necessarily who wins, but how they protect Oba in the loss. And then we've got, of course, also Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch. Do you expect a title change here?
I'm not sure. I would have said yes a couple of weeks ago. I just think we need, all eyes are going to be on Sol Ruka in this match. We need a very clean performance for her. And we know she's capable because she's had some very good matches in NXT and even on the Saturday night's main event where, they were bringing some of the NXT talents up, the John Cena last match show. So I still think we could get a title change there. But it's one that's very much 50-50 in my mind. I don't know.
I think the answer is no. I think logic would tell you Sol Ruka has been winless basically in her first 3 matches, since officially debuting on the main roster. Logic would tell you that she'd probably win this one, but she's just not hot enough. In story, even in terms of crowd response, to make this win feel like it's one that you could really benefit from. This should be, an extended chase that hopefully you'd be able to, develop, gain a bigger following for her through. So I don't see it, but again, they have the challenge if they don't have her win of how you're going to protect this poor girl who's been winless in. Well, at this point, it would be 4 matches. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I think it's such a weird way to get to the match by not having her win last week. But I don't see a title change happening.
I think that they may have originally planned for a title change if Sol Ruka had been taken to by the crowd, and I think if she'd had some blowaway in ring performances, that could have done the trick. Even though, as you and John talked about on Rewind or Raw, the promos have been very, all this, the use of the words snatching constantly and all of that have been pretty weak. Yeah, we'll see.
She could still win over the crowd. I mean, they'll certainly have that with her. I think Italy will probably be a tremendous crowd for everything on the show. But can she deliver in ring is going to be the big question. And then we got tribal combat here: Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. Title change, yes or no?
No, I don't think so. And I think the more interesting story is for Jacob to be trapped in this sort of unwilling servitude, to his tribal chief. I think that's the more interesting story, and it continues. I think it will end up. Their tensions will simmer, and it can continue this program maybe all the way through to SummerSlam, because Roman's appearances won't be on a weekly basis, and I think that's probably where we're headed with these two. I think Roman retains the title.
I agree. I predict a very pro-Roman reaction, despite the fact that I think, like, leading up into this entire program, it's been Jacob that's kind of been positioned as the babyface, but the star power of Reigns is going to, I would say, quite overwhelm the match. And, I don't think they'll be negative towards Fatu, but they will be very, very pro-Reigns. And he's the guy who should be champion, for a long time, it feels. At one point, I would have said, do the title switch, because I think Fatu should be established, but I don't feel it coming off of Monday. Not right now.
PostWrestlingCafe.com is your destination throughout the entire month of June. It begins with Open House Week, where all members on the free tier get a full week slate of extra content. Following that, we have Brandon Thurston live in Delaware to cover the WWE merger lawsuit, and we will be doing wall-to-wall coverage with daily audio shows. Plus, we have Rewind Away looking back at the career of Manami Toyota, a review of WrestleMania 33. Karen and Bruce will cover New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors final along with Dominion, and we will get together for a new Ask Away mailbag show. PostWrestlingCafe.com, the destination for you.